From comedian to commander-in-chief, the Volodymyr Zelenskyy story. The world knows him as the defiant wartime leader who stared down Putin. But how did a comedian, a man who once made people laugh for a living, transform into a symbol of resistance and hope for an entire nation? But Volodymyr Zelenskyy's story begins long before the tanks rolled across the border. Born in Kryvyi Rih, a city in central Ukraine, Zelenskyy grew up in a world far removed from the political stage. His early life was marked by a passion for performance and a desire to entertain. This is the story of a man who dared to dream big. From a young age, Zelenskyy was drawn to the arts. He studied law at university, but his heart was always in the theater. He joined a comedy troupe and quickly became a household name in Ukraine, known for his sharp wit and charismatic stage presence. He went from the stage to the world stage. His transition from comedian to politician was as unexpected as it was dramatic. In 2015, he starred in a television series called Servant of the People, where he played a high school teacher who unexpectedly becomes the president of Ukraine. Little did he know, this role would foreshadow his own future. He traded the roar of the crowd for the roar of cannons. In 2019, Zelenskyy announced his candidacy for the presidency, running on an anti-corruption platform and promising to bring a fresh perspective to Ukrainian politics. His campaign resonated with the public and he won by a landslide. This is the story of how a comedian became the president Ukraine needed in its darkest hour. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, Zelenskyy's leadership was put to the ultimate test. He refused to flee the country, choosing instead to stay and lead his people through the crisis. Zelenskyy's journey is about courage, it is about resilience. His defiance in the face of aggression has inspired not only Ukrainians but people around the world. He has become a symbol of resistance, showing that even in the darkest times hope and determination can prevail. It's a story for anyone who has ever dared to hope for a better future. Zelenskyy's journey from comedian to commander-in-chief is a testament to the power of dreams and the strength of the human spirit. It reminds us that no matter where we start, we all have the potential to make a difference. It's a story that reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, one person can make a difference. Zelenskyy's story is not just about one man, it's about the power of unity, the importance of standing up for what is right, and the belief that a better future is always possible. A childhood filled with laughter. Volodymyr Zelenskyy was born in Kryvyi Rih, Ukraine in 1978. He grew up in a Jewish family, his parents were academics. Young Volodymyr was a natural performer. He loved to make people laugh. He was a bright student, he excelled in school, but his true passion was always making people laugh. His childhood was filled with jokes, skits, and the laughter of friends and family. Little did they know, this playful boy would one day capture the hearts of a nation. Law school, and the call of the stage. Following in his parents' footsteps, Zelenskyy went to law school. He studied hard and earned his degree, but deep down, he knew law wasn't his true calling. The pull of the stage was too strong to ignore. He started performing at every opportunity. He joined a comedy troupe. He found his voice on stage. He brought laughter to audiences across Ukraine. He was good, really good. His star was beginning to rise. The birth of Kvartal 95. In 1997, Zelenskyy and his friends formed a comedy group called Kvartal 95. They produced hilarious skits and shows. They quickly gained a loyal following. Their humor was sharp, witty, and often satirical. They weren't afraid to poke fun at the powerful. Kvartal 95 became a national phenomenon. Zelenskyy became a household name. He was a natural on screen. He starred in movies. He hosted TV shows. He was everywhere, making people laugh and winning hearts. Section 5. Servant of the People. A Case of Life. Imitating Art. In 2015, Zelenskyy took on a role that would change his life forever. He starred in a TV show called Servant of the People. He played a history teacher who unexpectedly becomes the president of Ukraine. The show was a massive hit. It resonated with Ukrainians who were tired of corruption. They yearned for a leader who would represent the people. Little did they know, art was about to imitate life in the most extraordinary way. Section 6. Zelenskyy for President, a Nation Demands Change. In 2019, Ukraine was at a crossroads. Corruption was rampant and the political landscape was marred by scandals and inefficiency. The people of Ukraine were growing increasingly frustrated with the status quo. They felt that their voices were not being heard, and their needs were being ignored by those in power. People had lost faith in their leaders. The streets were filled with protests, and the air was thick with a sense of disillusionment. Citizens were desperate for a change, for a leader who would listen to them and address their concerns. They were looking for something different. They wanted a leader who was not part of the old guard, someone who could bring a fresh perspective and new ideas to the table. The traditional politicians had failed them, and they were ready to embrace a new kind of leadership. They were looking for hope. Amidst the turmoil, they yearned for a glimmer of optimism, a promise that things could get better. They wanted to believe that a brighter future was possible for themselves and their children. Zelenskyy, inspired by the overwhelming support for his character in Servant of the People, made a bold decision. The show, where he played a humble teacher who becomes president, resonated deeply with the public. It was a fictional tale, but it struck a chord with the real-life aspirations of many Ukrainians. He announced his candidacy for president. His campaign was unconventional. Unlike traditional politicians, Zelenskyy did not rely on grandiose promises or elaborate political machinery. Instead, he focused on connecting with people on a personal level. He connected with people online. Utilizing social media platforms, he reached out to the younger generation, who were eager for change. His digital presence allowed him to bypass traditional media channels and speak directly to the electorate. He held rallies that felt more like comedy shows. These events were not just political gatherings, they were a blend of entertainment and serious discourse. Zelenskyy's background in comedy helped him engage with the audience in a unique way, making politics accessible and even enjoyable. He spoke directly to the concerns of ordinary Ukrainians. Whether it was farmers, workers, or small business owners, Zelenskyy made it a point to listen to their issues and address them in his campaign. He promised to tackle corruption, improve the economy, and bring about real change. His message was simple: a promise of change, a promise of a better future. Zelenskyy's candidacy was a beacon of hope for many, a chance to break away from the past and build a new Ukraine. His journey from a television star to a presidential candidate was nothing short of extraordinary, and it captured the imagination of a nation yearning for transformation. Section 7. Leading Ukraine through crisis. Zelenskyy won a landslide victory. He became the president of Ukraine. He was a president like no other. He was young, charismatic, and determined to make a difference. But his presidency would be tested in ways no one could have foreseen. First, the COVID-19 pandemic swept across the globe. Zelenskyy led with empathy and decisiveness. He worked tirelessly to protect his people. Section 8. The world stands with Zelenskyy. Then, the unthinkable happened. On February 24, 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. The world watched in horror, but amid the chaos and fear, Zelenskyy's courage shone through. He refused to flee. He stood his ground. He rallied his people. He became a symbol of Ukrainian resistance. His leadership in the face of unimaginable adversity earned him the admiration of the world. He became an icon of courage and defiance. His words, "I need ammunition, not a ride," echoed around the globe. Section 9. The legacy of a leader. Volodymyr Zelenskyy's journey from comedian to wartime leader is nothing short of remarkable. Born in Kryvyi Rih, a city in central Ukraine, Zelenskyy initially pursued a career in entertainment. He gained fame as a comedian and actor, starring in the popular television series Servant of the People, where he played a teacher who unexpectedly becomes the president of Ukraine. Little did he know this role would foreshadow his real-life political career. In 2019, Zelenskyy transitioned from the screen to the political stage, winning the presidential election by a landslide. His campaign was built on promises of reform, anti-corruption, and bringing peace to the war-torn eastern regions of Ukraine. He is a testament to the power of courage, resilience, and the unwavering belief in one's country. Despite facing numerous challenges, including political opposition and external threats, Zelenskyy remained steadfast in his mission to serve his people. When Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Zelenskyy's leadership was put to the ultimate test. He showed the world that even in the face of overwhelming odds, one person's determination can make a difference. His decision to stay in Kyiv, despite the imminent danger, inspired millions. He became a symbol of resistance, rallying his nation and garnering international support. His story is far from over. Zelenskyy continues to navigate the complexities of leading a nation at war, balancing diplomacy and defense. His efforts have not only strengthened Ukraine's resolve, but have also highlighted the importance of global unity in the face of aggression. His speeches, often delivered with a mix of passion and pragmatism, resonate far beyond Ukraine's borders. But one thing is certain: Volodymyr Zelenskyy has already left an indelible mark on history. His leadership during one of the most challenging periods in modern history has been nothing short of extraordinary. He has shown that true leadership is not about power, but about service, sacrifice, and standing up for what is right. He is an inspiration to us all, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope, and there is always a reason to fight for what we believe in. Zelensky's legacy will be remembered not just for his role in the war, but for his unwavering commitment to his people and his country. His story is a powerful reminder that leadership at its core is about courage, compassion, and the relentless pursuit of a better future.